This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Paulie Howard on VSiN.
Here we go. Welcome in. Follow the Money on VSiN, the sports betting network. Mitch Moss along with Paulie Howard, live downtown Vegas. Circa Resort Casino is your spot. This is going to be a hell of a 3-hour program lined up today. A lot of playoff reaction and look ahead to upcoming games that we have tonight and beyond. A busy day card in Major League Baseball tonight as well. Lots on the NFL draft. We have Jeff Seeley on the Zurich Classic coming up in about 30 minutes. He had a winner last week with Matt Fitzpatrick. Also on the program, Evan Silva from Establish the Run, Sean Green, Sports Gambling Podcast, Doug Kazarian, Matt Humans, all on the NFL draft. And what a night last night was yet again. All of those dogs were barking. Imagine had the Kings defeated the Avalanche in overtime. Big numbers for bettors who are actually going contrarian last night and taking those dogs. And then, of course, you have the Wemby fall and the spill on his face, which looked absolutely awful. And now I can't imagine that he's going to be playing in Game 3 on the road against Portland. And the number kind of tells you that as well. I mean, they're closing around 12.5, 13-point favorites in these games, and they're sitting there as, the adjustment is 1.5 now.
Yep.
He's not going to play.
Frustrating night. Not supposed to happen. $100 parlay in the NBA paid $13,000. Celtics always mess around and play with their food.
Yep.
14-point favorite, can't win the game. That can happen, though, when you take 53s. When it's not your night, and the other team's knocking them down, right? But what happened to the Spurs is inexcusable. I mean, it's like the Knick loss. You're up 14 with 8 minutes. I don't care who's out. 14 with 8 minutes, and Denny only had 14 in the game.
That's right.
You can't slow down Henderson. So we got a series. And as we talked about when they opened it up, that they couldn't be minus 2,000 series price because of the Wemby. That he's fragile, which it was unfortunate what happened in a fluke.
Oh, that absolutely sucks, man.
But now, I don't know if he doesn't look like he plays Friday. The offense was lost without him. You're talking about the defensive player of the year being out. So a lot of pressure on them now as well. But to just at home up 14 with 8 minutes, come on. You have first-round draft picks all over the place. Someone's got to score. And it's not like they did much offensively to beat you anyways. And
They could have been a little shell-shocked, watching that happen to him and also without him for that entire time.
Yeah, but they were fine, though, after that. Initially, I'll give it to you, no doubt. But they took care of business, and they opened up the lead. Then they fell apart in the last 7 minutes. And I echo your sentiments, what you tweeted last night. Someone needs to call in a Greyhawk 10 on Udoka.
Oh, he's going to get fired.
I mean, this is
There's
ridiculous.
no question in my mind.
You're not going to play Shepard. You have problems scoring. You can't draw anything up. What is your strategy? Do you have a strategy? Durant goes off, vicious beat if he had his points over. But Durant goes off in the first half, no help. I don't know what you're trying. You are destroying them on the boards in the offensive glass, and you are now down 2-0. And I can't wait to lay a 9.5 in Game 3. As we said yesterday, they're being out-coached. This guy has all kinds of issues offensively. The alarming stat, 24% of their shots occur with the last 6 seconds left on the shot clock. It's a unmitigated disaster with Houston.
I'm extremely confident in saying this, that if they lose the series to the Lakers, he is absolutely fired. If not, that's a complete and utter debacle by Houston, and it's malpractice, actually, and I hate to use that word because it's overused nowadays, but they have to get rid of the guy. They're lost completely, and, I mean, as I tweeted out again last night, to your point, I'm like, I can say this with as much confidence as humanly possible. Reed Shepard will be a better NBA player than Udoka is as a head coach. He played 10 minutes, and he was asked about it after the game. Did you ever think of, nope, shut it down immediately. Nope, not playing him.
Yeah.
Didn't have to. Defense was fine. The players that they had on the court when KD was getting double-teamed the entire time are incapable of spreading the floor or being like a nuisance from three because Reed Shepard is your best shooter. And they had other guys out there who were just big and long and not great shooters, and that helped the Lakers play defense as a part of that. In fact, here's the stat. JBT passed this on to me. This is from Carson Breber on X. Kevin Durant has been doubled or blitzed 61 times over the Rockets' last 3 games against the Lakers. Excluding offensive rebounds, they've scored 42 points. That is 0.69 points per possession with 16 turnovers. KD has 20 turnovers overall in those 3 games. Unacceptable. And where are the adjustments? And you don't have the proper guys in the game. And now you're on the verge of getting embarrassed by losing to this team without Luka and Austin Reeves. Kevin Durant has now lost 7 consecutive playoff games.
How has that happened?
His last win was May 7th, 2023.
Yeah. So what the interesting thing is now is what are the adjusted series prices? What's the correct number? Because one, how long is Wemby out? And maybe the inexperience gets to San Antonio. The take back on Portland's 4-1.
Uh-huh.
And the other, what do you do with the Lakers series? They're up 2-0, but looks like Reeves can come back. And Game 7 would be next Sunday.
Yeah.
This is really stretched out. So I don't think we'll see Luka, but I think we can see Reeves at some point if this thing goes the distance. But that's why it's interesting that the Lakers are only a short favorite, even though they're up 2-0 in the series, and there have been no adjustments, and Houston is lost offensively as usual.
Yeah, LeBron was really good again last night, as was Luke Kennard.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, again, I'm guessing Kennard's going to have games like this pretty much the entire. Houston's supposed to be a great defensive team, too.
Well, LeBron, his history up 2-0 in a series, and I love what they did up 5, where he did the slowdown with the hands and then speed me up and then dunk city and to go up 7. That was beautiful. And as you said, it's a legacy. Just add to the legacy if they're able to do this as a huge dog, 6-1 take back, and if they're able to win the series without their 2 best players, he's been awesome.
Let me point this out. FanDuel specifically offered a prop last night on LeBron James, and I think it's his career averages of 27, 7, and 7. They offered, and it was the only thing available that it was a specific LeBron prop, and it said, will LeBron James finish tonight's game with exactly 27.7 rebounds and 7 assists? It was 200-1. He had 28, 8, and 7. Mm-hmm. Right on those numbers. Yeah. Come on.
Yep.
Here, this is officially like the fine print with Victor Wembanyama. He now has to go a full 48 hours before being cleared for full participation, along with approval from team and league doctors. And that obviously puts his status in very serious doubt for Friday night's Game 3 up in Portland. And as we said, I think the market, obviously, when they opened up, they're kind of telling you, probably not going to give it a go here. I don't know. I mean, without him, they were laying 4.5 in the second half last night. The Spurs were. And you had the news, by the way. The news was out there that Wemby was not coming back to play in that game, and they were laying 4.5. They lost outright. I got a big ticket on the Spurs at 18-1 to win the West.
I don't know what's going to happen.
I hate the ticket today.
I know, yeah. I mean, you can't be that scared of Denver either. Just how they look like they're wore down already, and how bad they've been defensively.
So that could be Minnesota, by the way.
That could be. This is really becoming March Madness here so far. I mean, this stuff is not supposed to happen in the first round of the NBA playoffs. Hockey, we're used to it, but that is 5 straight underdogs that have won now in the NBA playoffs. It's crazy.
Well, you asked me yesterday on the air, could I make a case for the Sixers? I said I really can't. And they were the better team pretty much the entire game. The one game, and I didn't bet it, but the one game that I agreed with you on, because you had a bet on Portland, is I thought that number was a bit high. And I thought we were going to get a good effort out of that team last night and cover. Didn't see him winning the game, but then Wemby goes down, that changes everything. Yeah.
I would think you'd get a strong effort from Phoenix tonight after getting embarrassed. But then again, maybe that's the other thing. How do you not take futures on the Thunder? I mean, this is, do you see what's going on? The Spurs have their issues. Denver can't defend. Boston screwing around again. And here, OKC's going to get the winner of L.A., Houston, and they just destroyed the Lakers when they were healthy in the last meeting. I mean, you can put them in the conference finals.
Yeah,
they're even money to win the title.
The number on the game is 17.5.
Yeah, right. As I said yesterday, that's a tanking number.
That's exactly right.
Right.
The Suns had a good year.
That's right.
And it's 17.5.
This is not the Utah Jazz. I know.
God.
Yeah, I think you'd be able to hang here and keep it respectable, certainly after what happened as well.
Yeah.
How about the hockey, too? Buffalo's in a world of hurt. Boston has outplayed them for much of the series.
That's true.
Buffalo's in trouble. And Stormy did a great job last night. This is, they're going to put up, there's a 5.5, but you can go under 6.5 minus 170 and under 6 minus 140. The Kings with this boring hockey, mucking it up. How are you going to get goals in that series?
Well, and by the way,
both games are 2-1, and that's how the Kings play. And then the delay, Stormy was all over it. They got vacuum cleaners. They're coming in with security and all this. But this is, what the Kings are doing is a travesty. How they have to just muck it up and they're just trying to get overtime somehow, some way.
Is there going to be a league-wide mandate now where fans are going to be unable to actually pound on the glass?
Well, that's stupid. What are you doing?
Well, that happens.
That thing was going to give.
Yeah, but that happens in every game where people just absolutely pound the daylights out of the glass and it never breaks. And that one happened to just shatter last night.
No, but I think there were so many people doing it.
Yeah.
After they stopped, you have to restop the penalty shot. That thing just into thousands of pieces.
Well, how about
17-minute delay and all over the Kings coach?
How about actually getting a pretty decent number on the Kings plus a goal and a half so far? This has been anything but a rout in this series. Yeah. They've been right there with him, and I guess this is kind of like the UConn-Michigan game. Dan Hurley asked at halftime or during the game, he's like, look, we got to make it ugly. Only way we have a chance to win. That's pretty much the only way the Kings have a chance to be in these games against Colorado, and they're doing a great job so far.
Yep. Officiating's they're too much of the story right now as well. They're calling way too many penalties in these playoffs. They got to calm down, especially in that Kings game. Every time you look, someone was on the power play.
Yeah.
And it's 1-1 at the end of regulation.
I will remind you of this. In the other game tonight in the NBA, the Pistons lost game 1 to the Magic. So the zigzag worked big time last night in 2 of the games anyway. But if you lose as home, as the favorite in game 1 of the first round, since 2021, game 2, those teams are 7-0 straight up and 7-0 ATS. Since 2017, those teams are 13-1 straight up, 13-1 ATS. Unbelievable numbers there. Scott Seinberg, VSiN hosts his website. It's betterday.com. That's remarkable. Mm-hmm. So do we get the zigzag here that applies in this game?
No, I don't want the Pistons.
And they run them out?
Nope. History's strong, but this is I don't trust them. And Orlando with nothing to lose now.
NFL draft's up next. You can't help but laugh when NFL insiders are essentially saying the same exact thing about 2 different players for the same pick. I'll give you the details coming up next.
Get VSiN Pro for just $9.99 for your first 30 days and start betting with the edge serious bettors rely on every day. Access expert picks, real-time odds, and actionable insights across every major sport. Plus, get player prop projections powered by Opta AI, daily picks delivered straight to your inbox, and betting guides for every major sporting event. Visit VSiN.com/subscribe for just $9.99 and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
This is VSiN, a network of sports betting analysts, writers, hosts, and handicappers, all here to help you become a more confident bettor. We broadcast live every day from Las Vegas, the sports betting capital of the world, and from studios across the country, giving you insight from every angle of the action. Take VSiN with you wherever you go with the VSiN Watch app, or catch us on streaming platforms and regional sports networks. You can also listen live on SiriusXM Channel 158 and on radio stations nationwide. Check out VSiN.com as well for betting tools, exclusive betting splits, AI-powered player prop projections from Opta, pro picks for every game, plus in-depth betting guides and articles built to give you an edge. From sharp betting analysis and daily best bets to insider interviews and expert breakdowns, VSiN is your trusted source for everything happening in the world of sports betting. See everything we have to offer at VSiN.com and become part of the Sports Betting Network.
Coming up on Thursday's edition of Money Moves, we continue our deep dive as the NFL Draft is here. Nick Kosmider is going to join us. We'll get the Denver Broncos perspective on the NFL Draft, our best bets, and some late information moving these markets. Will tell you where you can put your money as we get closer to the first round. We get our usual handicapping slate in the association, and we'll dive into this strong trend that is absolutely crushed. We'll tell you why you shouldn't play it. It's Money Moves, 11 to 1 Pacific, 2 to 4 Eastern, here only on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
At this point, I want the draft to get here now. We still have to wait, 28 hours at this point. Get it here already because my head's going to pop. The stuff on Reese and Bailey, number 2 overall. Earlier today, Bailey minus 175 to go first overall. Now here at Circa, Reese minus 140, and he's minus 145 at DraftKings. This is changing by the hour. Reese, again, was $4 yesterday before it completely flipped, and then Bailey turned into the favorite yet again.
These teams are doing an excellent job. This is an incredible year that no one's given anything away. We know the number 1 pick, and that's it. And there are exactas up at DraftKings. I wouldn't even know what to do with 1, 2, 3. I guess the best way to do it would be Mendoza, Bailey, Francis, or Mendoza, Reese, Francis, which pays 17-1. The Giants
take some long shots. Why not?
The Giants are concerned that Arizona's going to take Maui Noah at number 3. And the Giants want him at 5, and they want him, and they want Tyson. But then is Tyson there at 10, and then is Francis there at 5? And what happens if Arizona goes O-line at 3? Or if there's a trade, which, you lose me. If you're doing all these mock drafts and you're putting trades in there, I'm out. I can't do it. But this is just, I know the Love at 3 is a smokescreen. That's not happening with Arizona. But it appears Love will go to Tennessee at 4.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Really? I think that's going to happen. But this is, you're right, it changes by the hour. These teams aren't giving anything away. I would still say Fano under 10.5, and I like him to the Browns at 6. But, I got the Giants really control a lot of this. I think I know what they're going to do, but it's are the guys going to be available, and does someone come up and make a trade and screw this up?
So first, basically what you said is echoed by so many people who I've listened to and or read in the last 4 days. People who do this for a living, not bettors, but I think they're probably telling you the same thing. I'm talking about people who do the draft stuff. That's what they do year round. They have said, not all of them, but a lot of them I've heard say this is the most difficult year they can ever remember. Trying to put the pieces together here. Now, the reason why I said I'm not so sure about Love going 4th overall. Now this, again, what's smoke, what's not? I'm hearing today from people I'm listening to that Styles is going to go 4th now because that's who Salah really wants, and the Fred Warner comparisons won't stop. That's how they want to use the guy. And then Love would be there potentially if the Cardinals don't take him 3rd for the Giants at 5. And do the Giants take him 5th overall? That's the dilemma.
Who?
The Giants. They take Jeremiah Love 5th.
Oh, no way. No way.
But people are making the case
That's
now,
outrageous.
and I'm like, they just took, and the same people said Cam Scadaboo would be the 2nd running back in this year's draft. Now I get it.
Come on.
The bad injury from last year, I love that kid.
They also won't do it because of Barkley.
That's exactly right.
They are not doing that. They are not doing Styles and Downs, and they are not doing Love at 5, especially Love.
I can't see them taking Love. I'm not buying that one either.
No.
So, McShay, podcast and website, latest. Bailey 2nd overall. Daniel Jeremiah is coming out with his final mock draft tonight at 5 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We'll play you a soundbite from him coming up in a second. Graziano, actually, this is the part that's hilarious to me. Dan Graziano, ESPN, wrote this today on the website. How will the Jets approach the number 2 overall pick? He wrote, everything I've been told since the latter part of last week leads me to believe the Jets will select Ohio State linebacker Arvell Reese with the 2nd pick in the draft. Peter Schrager's final mock draft today on ESPN.com. David Bailey's going number 2 overall. He wrote, I've had Bailey going to the Jets for the past month, and I have no further intel telling me any differently. So here you have Graziano and Schrager making the case for 2 different players, and they're saying their intel hasn't changed. Well, they're talking to 2 different people or sources, obviously, and it's the exact opposite that they're getting.
Yeah. Could one of those guys could be available at 5? That's the other thing.
That's possible.
That's wild, because then if Arizona goes O-line, Love goes to Tennessee, then one of those guys is available at 5, and then is there a trade, or maybe did the Giants change their mind? I don't know.
This is Daniel Jeremiah on the Pardon My Take podcast when asked if the draft actually starts with the number 2 overall pick.
Kind of put to me as hey, I feel, 90-95% sure that it's Bailey, but I've, doing this long enough that I know that if it's not 100%, it's not 100%. So it feels like it's Bailey at 2, but when they're on the clock and we're on the set there, we're not going to know for sure if that's Bailey or not.
Okay. Well, that was 90 to 95%.
Yeah, right.
But he said that's not 100,
that, yeah.
and he's right with that.
Uh-huh.
And it's hilarious because now the odds are telling you another thing.
Yep.
Craziness, man. I did take by reading more stuff again, I know we had Ryan Kramer on the show yesterday. He was making the case from the Sports Gambling Podcast, Jaguars wide receiver number 1 for their first position taken. I added that, but I also, too many people are saying they're going to go running back potentially.
Oh, really?
No more Etienne. And Boot Scootin' Tootin'. The fun lasted with him for like a year.
Yeah.
And they're not picking until the second round. Do I have that right? I think it's second round. But they could go with one of these other running backs at their first pick. And I took 15, 18, and 20 to 1 on Jacksonville to take a running back first.
Okay. Good number. Finally, Fano is the co-favorite to go 6 now as well.
Is he?
And I would say Tyson, first wide receiver to go. And Francis, first O-lineman to go. Sean Green, who nailed it a couple years ago and had an unbelievable first-round mock, has Francis, took a flyer on Francis going third as well, 11-1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's still out there, too, and he continues to drop to go 5th overall. He was the second choice. But I guess there's a scenario also where the Giants could go Tyson 5 and Francis 10. Although I think it's going to be the other way around, but this is crazy.
They have to think about which guy at 5 has no chance to be there at 10.
Yeah.
Because if they take Tyson at 5, evidently there's no chance he's going to be available at 10. But can they wait on Downs? Like, is there a chance that Downs would be there still at 10 if they don't take him at 5? And I think the answer to that is potentially. It's a gamble still, but Tyson evidently is absolutely gone before 10. So if they want him that badly...
Well, who takes him? Wouldn't Washington maybe go Tate?
I heard if they're going to go a receiver, it's Tate.
Yes. But then again, you have to factor in the trade. But I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Maybe he can fall to 10, and he's still 4-1 to go to 10. Go 10.
Yeah, but again, stuff is changing multiple times every single day. I think this is the perfect example. Todd McShay's been doing this for a long time. He's very good at it, well-sourced. This is what he had to say about the number 2 overall pick last night late on his podcast.
I may have, and I probably did get used on the Jets' number 2 overall pick. I do care. I'm not going to hide from it and retreat. And I'm sure he's not going to be stubborn and not come back and say, hey, 10 days ago I had the right information. And that lasted about 8 days. And for 48 hours, I think I might have been used as a former friend, for a friend of this, to get out there because maybe Arvell Reese could drop some more interest in the number 2 overall pick. Who knows? And it's not even about all that matters is I get it right at the end. It doesn't really even matter then. It's a mock draft. What are we talking about? FanDuel's this wonderful sponsor of the show. I love the app. Mensch loves the app. NFL GMs check in on what are the odds and all that. And yeah, we have a sponsorship. And so one has nothing to do. There's church, there's state. Promise you, okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is both players made sense. And I promise you this, the decision came down to Bailey or Reese. And I know 10 days ago they were still kind of ironing out all those things. So for 48 hours, we got misled a little bit, and we're back on it.
Okay, so that's a long comment there from him, but there's so much to digest from that. He admitted to being misled or used for 48 hours.
Happens all the time.
It does.
I think he was being used on Arizona information.
I think so, too. And so he's pumping it up there, like number 2 overall is going to be Reese. And that was evidently incorrect to him because he absolutely now has Bailey going 2nd overall. Said that on the podcast and wrote that in his newsletter today as well. So good for him for admitting that. I actually respect the hell out of him for doing that. But I would also say, Todd, it does kind of matter because when you're adamant about this stuff, and specifically you're sponsored by Sportsbook, people are going to take you for what you're saying and bet on that stuff. And so you could be directly funneling, bad information out there, misleading information. People are going to lose money as a result of that.
The Miami Dolphins did a number on a lot of people years ago.
100% they did.
Our good buddy Lombardi, Jeff Darlington, they were calling up everyone they knew, and hey, O-line, quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And they just put
and
that
they had
out
it the
there.
whole time.
The whole time they knew what they were doing. They used everybody. They put it out there. Dolphins O-line, Dolphins O-line. Not happening.
So why is Reese now favored again then?
Well, I mean, it's like, the tweets and emails are accurate too. Look at last year. Sanders, top 5 pick. Who's taking Sanders?
Yeah.
Could they go to the Giants, top 10 pick? Everyone loves them. Watch out. I mean, there's going to be a lot of surprises tomorrow. And I love that I'm not confident in much with this outside of 1 and 6. That's about it.
It's very difficult to pound the table for a lot of the stuff. I think you're taking some long shots, like you said, the exact order of the 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Why not?
And it all goes to hell if there's a trade.
Yep.
And they're probably going to happen.
He's fresh off a winning week with Matt Fitzpatrick. Find out how Jeff Seeley is approaching the Zurich Classic next here on VSiN.
As sports fans, we may cheer for different teams, but there's one thing that we can all agree on. We want the game to be big. And with 3 levels, 30 cabanas, a 143-foot screen, 6 clean pools, and endless cold drinks, it doesn't get any bigger or any better than Stadium Swim in Las Vegas. All sports, all seasons. It's more than a pool deck. Stadium Swim is the only thing like it in the world.
Elevate your sports betting game with VSiN's exclusive betting splits. Stay ahead with real-time market trends and track bet percentages on any matchup. Then uncover the edge by comparing them to the amount of bets placed to find out where the sharp money is headed. Upgrade to VSiN Pro to access betting splits, live odds, line moves, power ratings, and in-depth game analysis. Go to vsin.com/pro to join VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Bets now, and he is fresh off of nailing Matt Fitzpatrick last week. Second time, by the way, with him in the last month, about 30 days or so. Also, Cantlay top 20, Wyndham Clark top 30 as well. And that parlay with Andre Drummond almost got there, but a couple of golfers just barely missed their ladders as well. Jeff Seeley joins the program now. You can follow him on X at Cupmaker Jeff. Hey, pal, congratulations on the win last week. And I have to start with this. After Fitzy, I mean, he kind of loses it down the stretch in regulation there, and then Scotty catches him and they go to a playoff. How happy were you to have Fitzy win or without last week?
Well, that's the whole reason you bet it, right? That's literally the exact reason you bet it. Is we've seen Scotty do it time and time again this season. Has come roaring back after a substandard start. He did it, came in the playoff, and you're right. I mean, had he won, we'd have been thrilled. Now, obviously, if you're Monday morning quarterbacking, you could say, "Oh, well, gosh, he got there. We don't play that." I'm always gonna play the winner without Scotty when I think it's relevant. I thought it was this week because Scotty's played well here a lot. It worked out for us, but it would have worked out either way. But I was glad to see Fitz get the win.
Okay, so now fast forward this week. Zurich Classic. This is a tricky event, I think, to handicap overall and to bet because it's unlike basically any other event during the year. Go ahead and explain this one to the audience that might not be aware of how this works.
Yeah, guys, this is an extremely unique event. It's the only one like this on tour all year. You have round one, which is the best ball, where each player plays their own ball. Round two is an alternate shot. Then there's a cut. And then round three is best ball, and round four is alternate shot. About 41% of the teams make the cut, and 25% are going to finish top 20. So, I mean, it's really hard to find a lot of value on here because at the top of the board is fairly condensed, and the bombs are fairly condensed. So it's like there's a couple bombs you could take a swing at. I think you really want to look at those guys more of the top 20 play. And then at the top, it's really hard to handicap because there's a lot of guys to win. So the way I looked at it is, we'll talk about in a second, is just where do I think, who do I think add up to the two best guys? And that's really what a lot of this comes down to.
All right. How about a homer pick to start?
Yeah, I mean, guys, it sounds like a bit of a homer pick for sure, but Shane Lowry and Brooks Koepka are just a tough team to beat. I mean, the two of them have a million Ryder Cup team format rounds under their belts, and both have played in this event more than once. Lowry won the event with Rory a few years ago, and Koepka's played with his brother before, and Koepka has something to play for here, a chance to play in the bigger events. So, yeah, you get a two-year exemption and so on, but this is the most talented team, 6 majors between these guys, and Koepka's going to be motivated. Of course, Lowry is going to want to win as well. So I think this team at the top of the board, I'd have made him the favorite. I know Fitz is very hot right now, and his brother just won a DP World Tour event. I'd have made these guys a favorite, so I don't mind him at 15-1 or so.
Okay. Now work your way down the board a little bit. After that combination of Lowry and Koepka, who are you looking at?
Yeah, guys, Johnny Kiefer and Michael Brennan at 22-1 might be the most exciting team on this card. Michael Brennan is electric to watch hit the ball. He's as good a driver of the golf ball as there is in the field. And Johnny Kiefer broke all of Scotty's Korn Ferry Tour records. We've been on him a few times this year. He struggled the last few weeks, but he showed in the Houston Open where he finished T3. When he gets dialed, he can compete with anybody. So I think this team will be super exciting to get some fireworks here. I expect to see a lot of birdies out of these guys. It's just, can they avoid the bogeys? If they can definitely make a run.
All right. How about mid-range and 2 guys that were teammates at college?
Yeah, guys. So you got Sam Stevens and Zach Bochu here, and it's more about Bochu than it is Stevens for me, but he has 3 top 30s in his last 6 events. Super sneaky. I would not have guessed that going in until I researched it. So, again, his game has been pretty solid across the board, no glaring weaknesses. I think this is really relevant because everybody who really follows golf closely knows how good Sam Stevens is. Tremendous ball striker who has 3 top 10s in the last 6 months and 4 more finishes inside the top 35. So these two were teammates together at Oklahoma State. The vibes are going to be there. It's going to be a fun way to watch these guys. And I think they're a super sneaky top 10 play. I played them a plus 230 top 10 with a little on the outright.
Okay, now let's really get nuts here. Have some guts. Let's get nuts. Who do you want to go with? A couple of bomb plays for the week and how you might want to ladder them as well.
I mentioned the bombs early on, guys. And again, if you can get a team who just won this event 3 years ago at 125-1 and better than 2-1 in the top 20 market. Why wouldn't you take that? And that's exactly what we have with Nick Hardy and Davis Riley. Look, I know Nick Hardy's been awful this year. I acknowledge that, and Davis Riley hasn't been a lot better. But these guys have the tournament record of 30 under in 2023. You know they have good vibes. The fact that you can get them still at better than 2-1 for top 20 gives me a lot of interest. And two other guys who were teammates at Purdue here in Indiana, Adam Schenk and Tyler Duncan. They're really a top 20 play to me as well at better than 2-1. But you get Schenk, who comes in with back-to-back top 40 finishes after getting his first PGA Tour win in the fall. And this really is for his teammate, Tyler Duncan, who's trying to regain his full status on tour. If they can get a win here, this would be huge for Duncan. I'd love to see the Purdue guys get it together here, make a run. It surely could happen. Long shots have come through here in the past, but I really like him top 20 at plus 210 or better.
Very good. Love the analysis. Go get him again this week. Be honest, though. Do you like this event?
No, look, like I said, I think from a TV, from an entertainment perspective, I think it's a lot of fun. But from a betting perspective, no, I don't like it at all. That's why I'm going to have limited action. It's a far smaller card than it is most weeks, but I'll have some action just in case, especially on some of the bombs in case one of them come through.
Do you also, because you love the DFS like every week as well, do you attack it like a normal DFS week?
No, it's a weird DFS week too. Some people love this DFS week because they think they can find edges. I wouldn't necessarily argue otherwise, but I'm playing a little bit of DFS this week, but I'm playing 20% of what I normally play.
Very good. Follow Jeff on X. He is at Cutmaker Jeff, and he joined us here on the Progressive Guest Line. Best of luck again this week, pal. Thank you.
Thanks, fellas. Take care.
Thank you.
See, I kind of disagree with what he said, though. I hate watching this event.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
I'm going to bet some of his plays here. To me, the betting is just, and I don't like to handicap it either because of the combination here that you get with two guys at a time. It's unwatchable to me.
Yep.
There are so many other things going on this time of year. No, thank you. I will, and I love watching a 4-day golf event like throughout the entire year. This one, draw a line right through it. Nope, too much other stuff happening.
Concur. Trout just went deep.
Yep.
Will they bring Soriano out for the 6th?
He's at 80-plus pitches.
84 pitches. He doesn't have it today. 7 hits.
Oh, 7. How many walks?
0. He's got a 0.24 ERA.
How many strikeouts?
Allowed 4. He's allowed 1 run on the season. Probably go 6, and that'll be it.
Well, I'm encouraged by the no walks, actually.
Uh-huh.
So that's good. He's the second shot on the board now, I think, to win the American League Cy Young.
What a story.
Trout was plus 325, I'm seeing. And how about our guy, Yordan Alvarez, again? Now, we briefly mentioned this yesterday. There are actually a bunch of other... Ohtani won the MVP twice on bad Angels teams, but he was also pitching a little bit. Trout did 10 years ago. Alvarez is like 3-1 to win that award. There's no way you can bet that.
No.
Not on April, 22nd? No way, no how.
Mm-hmm. I don't see them improving either. I mean, their ERA is 6.19.
Yeah, they're a bad baseball team.
Yeah.
Maybe he wins the award and just puts together that year, but at 3-1, nah.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard pass for me.
All right, and Man City is 15 minutes away from tying Arsenal at the top of the table at the Prim.
So if they hang on here, they're up 1-0.
They'd be tied at first, and they'd be even on goal differential.
Where do you think they go in the betting market to win the Prim?
$2? Higher, maybe. I don't know. We're 120 coming in, 130 coming in.
I can't get over not tying in Michigan on those cross-sport parlays. And it's funny, I was talking about that the other day on the show, and I got a text from a buddy of mine right as soon as the show was done. He showed me a ticket that he has. He'll win $45,000 on a cross-border that is Colorado in the NHL, Man City, Michigan, Spain, and the Knicks to win the East. So
Knicks.
Yeah, but I mean he did it with Man City. So if they win it,
in there. That's a lot on the menu.
I know, but it's
why not OKC to win the West? I mean,
I didn't ask him.
Damn. All right.
It pays $45,000. You can get creative if this one comes in.
How about Leicester City? Can't wait to talk to Meatman Friday. They've been around in existence for 142 years. They've played 1 year in League One. Make it 2. 5th club ever to suffer back-to-back relegation.
5th team ever.
10 years ago, they won the Prim.
I know. Do you know what that
back-to-back relegation now?
What was that number this year to get relegated? Do you have any idea?
No, that's a big number. To drop down to League One now? That was a big number. I'm sure Meatman will have it.
To go in a 10-year span to win the league.
That's right.
To this,
the Prem. You're talking about
that's unfathomable.
You make like $400 million in annual revenue, and now you're down with the league where the VIP sit at the picnic table.
You have
and
hot
get
dogs.
The mayonnaise sandwiches.
Yeah, you get cold hot dogs on the side.
This is unbelievable how poorly run they've been. It's a debacle.
Yeah. Paul's going to recap a lot of the betting action from last night and win some, lose some, and we'll update more of the Major League Baseball betting board coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
VSiN's player prop projection tool is now available for the NBA. Get projections for points, assists, rebounds, and more powered by Opta AI. On VSiN.com/NBA props, we line up our projections against the latest DraftKings odds so you can quickly spot mismatches and find value before the market adjusts. The NBA player prop projections tool is available exclusively to VSiN Pro subscribers. Check it out now at VSiN.com/NBA props and join us on the Sports Betting Network.
Your favorite VSiN shows and personalities are now available to download as podcasts. Catch every hour of our live broadcast with VSiN Best Bets, or find your go-to show and download it directly. Get instant reactions to last night's games, sharp analysis on today's biggest matchups, and everything in between. Whether you're commuting, working out, or just catching up, VSiN lets you take the action with you wherever and whenever you want. Search VSiN on your favorite podcast platform and get in on the action with VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Win Some, Lose Some is sponsored by the Sharp Plays. Were you a winner last night?
Wow, winning.
Or was it a rough one?
Well, they can't all be winners, can they?
Loser! You're a loser!
Paulie Howard recaps the night in sports betting in Win Some, Lose Some.
Madness in the NBA playoffs. 5 straight dogs have won outright. Philly plus 675. Portland plus 475. Lakers again plus 220. $100 parlay, 13,000 last night. SGA clutch player of the year, 18-1.
18-1.
Yeah.
What?
Why would you think he'd win it?
Well, why would you not? 18-1?
Because they wouldn't be in clutch games. They're so good, I guess.
I don't even pay attention to the award. Most spots won't even offer it out here, but
Brunson got it last year. I mean, you got to be in a lot of close games though to win it. OKC's so dominant. I don't know. I totally expect that.
Okay.
I'm not shocked by that. Yeah.
I think so. If I told you before the year that he was 18-1 to win anything like that, you would have just said, "Nah, it can't happen."
Right.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. Spurs and Sixers, both teams to score in the first minute cashed. Most made threes, game leaders every night. Smart 5-1. Scoot 18-1. Edgecombe 20-1. Most assists in the Laker game, Thompson 9-1.
I was begging for one person on Twitter last night to say, "Yep, told you Spurs got it wrong."
Yeah.
Should have taken Scoot Henderson instead.
God.
They were doing that in night 1 of the Summer League 3 years ago.
Of all people to beat you. Padres, first team in 20 years to win 1-0 at Coors. And they gave Miller the day off.
And Vasquez was phenomenal.
Yep, they are hot. Subscribe, be part of the team, VSiN.com, our radio and podcast friends. You always want to see these tweets and videos at Paulie Does Vegas on Instagram. Send them in, we'll put you on. Eventually. This is great. Every time the human cleans and vacuums, the Rottweiler looks and makes sure all the toys there. No one threw anything away, right? Counting everything. Are we all good? Looking at his face. I don't want anything thrown away. I want all my toys. Let me count them. Make sure they're all there. That's excellent. Every time that happens. And this guy gets a treat every time he wipes his mouth. The big fella going in for the drink of water. You got the towels down off to the side. A couple of them there. That's excellent. Like the guy who goes into the bathroom and also does it. He can turn the faucet off, on and off by himself as well. Wipe, you get a treat. Look at the big fella. He knows. Smart guy, right? Don't want that drool. Don't want that water all over.
Sure.
That's excellent.
You train him like that, it's going to happen.
Good. Yeah. Send that to me, guys. That's awesome. Leicester City, lose some. 5th team to suffer back-to-back relegation. I can't believe it. 10 years ago, best story, biggest ticket that ever cashed in Nevada history. Won the Prim. Now they're in League One.
That is the single reason why you got into soccer, yeah?
That's right. Yep. Mr. Poison had $150,000 on the Sabres. And how bad was it? The Spurs had won 76 in a row in the playoffs, went up 14 or more in the fourth quarter. They blow that last night. And a bad beat, Kevin Durant over 23.5. He had 20 at the half and finished with 23. Maybe Udoka should watch Cousins in the Sandbox on NBC. Figure out how to draw up a play and do a better job offensively. Pulling in selections and intel from over 500 pro bettors and sources worldwide across all sports. They push the info to subscribers in real time. That's the Sharp Plays and the Mr. Poison updates every single day. And when they move, the books take notice. Advanced AI, trusted insider intel. They find the value before the numbers shift. Respected, watched it.
So updated numbers now, Major League Baseball. They did take Jose Soriano out of the game after 5 innings. High pitch count today, but no runs allowed again. His ERA is down to 0.22 on the year. They put up a graphic on the game that it's the lowest ERA through ever in Major League Baseball history. Now he has a better mark than Dutch Leonard did back in 1914. You remember Dutch Leonard, right? He had a couple of his Topps rookie cards, I'm sure, back in the day.
Yeah.
So he's now number 1 all time. I'm looking at DraftKings right now. They took awards down for Major League Baseball. Don't see it up there right now with a bunch of day games as we speak. Orioles on top of the Royals 8-6. That's in the 9th. And the A's lead the Mariners in Seattle by a score of 2-1. Also, we were kicking around the number 2 pick odds in the NFL and why it keeps going back and forth. I said, so why is Reese the favorite right now? Jerry reached out on X, at VSiN Live, at Mitch Moss Radio, at Paulie Howard. So there's a reporter in SNY who asked Arvell Reese if he's been in contact with a couple of Jets defensive coaches. He said, quote, Reese did, "We had formal meetings and they introduced me to how they run the defense and showed me how they would use me," end of quote. Jerry tagged me on that and said, okay, you asked the question why? If they spend all this time with Reese and none of it with Bailey and they choose Bailey, then they need to have their heads examined.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
But I've also heard reports that the Jets got all the information that they needed and wanted from Bailey before the 30 official visit started.
Well, also our guy Leberfeld told us that they've done this before.
That's right.
Where they don't talk to a guy and then, hey, we're taking you.
That's correct.
So what would you do with the exacta? 1, 2, 3.
Okay,
it's all
so
up at DraftKings.
I would go Mendoza. You can go Bailey or Reese. And then, what's his last name again?
Maui Noah.
Maui Noah. I'd go that way. You can play them both at 17-1.
Yeah.
Because I'm not buying into maybe you're wrong, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but I'm not buying into the Jeremiah Love stuff, 3rd overall to the Cardinals. Not doing it. As people, I sent you over some notes on this. Again, this is what they're sharing their information, right? Todd McShay said on his podcast, let me get it here. On Love, are the Cardinals trying to induce a trade? It's a little peculiar that they weren't connected with him throughout the entire process, and then all of a sudden, it's just overwhelmingly out there that Love's going to go 3rd, or the Cardinals really want him at 3 overall. Came out of nowhere.
Yes.
So why is that?
Mm-hmm.
They had a change of heart?
Yeah.
They put on film that they hadn't seen before?
No, it's a lie. And they hope 3, 4, and 5 want to trade. But I don't think it'll happen.
Probably not.
But 3, 4, and 5 would love to trade down. But if Arizona doesn't take Francis, I still think he goes to the Giants at 5. And then can they get Tyson at 10? I don't know. But that's the game plan. And the whole draft is about let's get Dart all the help he needs. But then someone comes up in 6, 7, 8 range, and then all hell breaks loose.
Would they go back-to-back offense if they can get a guy like Downs at 10?
I was told there's no way they're taking him.
Okay.
No Downs, no Love, no Styles. That was the big one because he's the favorite. And I'd say over 5.5. You might think you go to Tennessee at 4. But said absolutely no Styles either.
So let me also relay this regarding Ty Simpson, who is going to be the second quarterback off the board. He's priced at minus 2,500, in fact. Daniel Jeremiah, again, he's going to have his mock draft later on tonight. His last one is going to get released. So Simpson, per his grading system, if he came out in 2024, he'd be behind all the guys that were at the top of that draft. Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jane Daniels, obviously behind all of them. He would also be behind Penix, and he also had J.J. McCarthy rated higher than Ty Simpson. Now, these teams reach for quarterbacks all the time. Like, why did Atlanta sign Kirk Cousins to that big of a deal and then take Michael Penix like a month later at 8th overall? And then McCarthy went where he went, and Nix went to the Broncos, obviously. So teams reach for that position all the time. But if he's truly, like, how weak is the draft overall? If he's going to be somewhere mid to late first round.
Well, this will be a good discussion with Doug Kazarian coming up, that this is the one time you might know more than the bookmakers, and then just trust what you're reading in the sources. But also there's so many guys who just do this nonstop and are reading everything, and the bookmakers are unable to do that. But if you keep hearing the Giants love Francis, the Giants are taking Francis, he's the 6th choice at DraftKings at 10-1. He was plus 385 a week ago. Then the 2nd choice. Now he's the 6th choice.
Yeah, this should actually make it better to bet into, right?
Yeah.
When there is so much uncertainty out there.
And then cover your bases. Take them to go 3rd. And then I guess you can't fall over if they would go Tyson 5 and Francis 10. And then flip them. Because they're concerned that maybe Tyson won't be there at 10.
So I said this earlier in the hour. I took Jacksonville at a couple of high prices to take a running back first position drafted.
Yeah.
Tony Pauline, who's been on this network recently, he's been doing this stuff for like 30 years. He reported that Jacksonville will pounce on Jadarian Price if he slips to round 2 and or target a guy like Emmett Johnson in round 3 from Nebraska. Okay.
He's also the guy who said he's 90% that Simpson goes round 1.
Like, that's good enough for me to take 18-1, 20-1 on that bet then. You're right. He said the same thing about Simpson. So Evan Silva's going to join the program coming up next, establish the run. We'll talk draft betting with him. His player